All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go with the fifth and final game here between DIMAGA and Hasu. We are now tied up 2-2 between these two players. Final game here on Tal'Darim Altar. We can see over in the right-hand position, we of course have Hasu as our red Protoss player, and then over here in the far left-hand position, the 9 o'clock, is DIMAGA as the blue Zerg player. Yes, the final game here on Terminus RE. Did I call it something different? I think I might have called it Tal'Darim. I don't know. But we are on Terminus. This is the map that we're currently located on, and it looks like Hasu's moving out. And we'll be starting off with one base play. So probably that one gate expand is what I'm expecting here. It was either that, in all honesty, or a Forge Fast Expand. The problem on this map, though, with the Forge Fast Expand is that even if you get a nice wall off here and it's nice and protected, you would really have to worry about the Zerg player breaking through those back rocks and then pushing in from that location. So that makes it a little more concerning, and it makes it a little maybe wiser to start off one base play and then move into your expansion first. We can see Hasu will be first scouting out that 12 o'clock position. I expect him immediately then to go into the 9 o'clock position, at which point he will be scouting out DIMAGA. Now DIMAGA, in the fact that he hasn't been scouted yet, may possibly go for hatch first, especially since he's probably assuming that Hasu may not be going for a Forge Fast Expand. Now, obviously, you cannot be 100% certain, and that may very well be why DIMAGA actually has decided to go for pool first. The issue is, if your Protoss opponent has gone Forge Fast Expand and you try to go out with that natural expansion first before the pool, 100% certain that you will be dealing with cannon harass at the back of your natural expansion, and that can be a huge problem, and certainly something that you want to avoid. And ooh, look at that nice juking there. DIMAGA bypassing the worker. This is going to allow him to get up that expansion. Hasu, unfortunately, missing that drone with his scout, wasn't able to prevent him from dropping down that expo. Very, very, very nice play there by DIMAGA. Excellent job. And that's something you definitely want to do. You can't let, if at all possible, that probe scout see you drop that expansion, because we would have seen Hasu immediately pull back with the probe and then drop a pylon to actually prevent DIMAGA from coming down with that. So again, excellent play there by DIMAGA, circumventing that scouting probe and allowing him to get that expo a little bit earlier than he would have otherwise. Now that the pool is up, we do have 4 Zerglings coming out. Mr. Bitters has left the game. That's great. Yeah, awesome stuff. Now, Hasu just about finished that Cybernetics core. We can see also coming out here with this second assimilator. So again, really am expecting that one gate expand. He's done it a few times so far in the series, and it seems like it's very probable here as well. So here comes that warp gate research coming out there, actually placing a pylon there up on the high ground. Then we'll be going back to mining for just a wee bit longer before he comes out with his expansion. DIMAGA right now up and just about to finish that natural. Still no extractor either. We'll be seeing that transfer of workers. Are we going to have another queen? Yes, we do have another queen coming out. And ooh, very risky third expansion. And you know what? If Hasu scouted this, he could destroy DIMAGA in the early game, but it doesn't look like Hasu will actually have that opportunity to get that scout down, at least as early as he would need it to. Basically, you know, if Hasu were to scout that third and still be on one base, he could push out with a devastating one base push and just completely roll over DIMAGA. The only caveat to that, though, is Hasu's timing would have to be very strong. He'd have to hit right before DIMAGA could possibly have the forces necessary. And the other issue with that, too, is that if DIMAGA were to scout that coming, then he could easily, instead of droning up, just use that extra hatch for more larva, and with that, just make enough units to defend. So it's not absolutely guaranteed that that would have been completely one-sided, but it certainly could have been if Hasu could have denied scouting and gone with a strong push. But again, by the time he actually moves out with this, we can see that expansion is already up right now. He's pretty much committed at this point to going with this one gate expand. We'll be seeing some additional gateways here, trying to formulate that wall off. But as we can see, actually, Hasu didn't even bother to move down to try to check out to see if there was a third. And I'm assuming, though, in spotting, I don't know, I'm really surprised he didn't try to move on down to scout that. I was going to say it looked like there might have been some creep spread, but that's just the natural creep there from DIMAGA's hatchery. So pretty interesting stuff. But again, as we can see, DIMAGA is up now, coming out with an evolution chamber also. Where is that actually being placed? Looks like that will be placed right over here. But I expect him at this point to probably drone up. That seems like the most probable thing that we will be seeing take place. Here are those 2 additional gateways. Trying to help him formulate that wall. We can see there's a little bit of space there, just enough for his zealot friend. Besides that, not a whole lot else. will be coming out with that hallucination research, as we have seen Hasu do so far in the series. Incredibly effective for scouting, getting that hallucinated phoenix. Moving on with that is a really great method for him to scout out DIMAGA. DIMAGA right now getting actually out some spore crawlers, also a spine there at the front of his base. Now with that, of course, he's going to be able to use that cloak detection of spawning the observers. The off chance that we would be seeing some very quick DT from Hasu, this would help against that as well. But most importantly, observers also helping with the phoenixes, helping to delay and or deny that scouting. And you can see right now again, DIMAGA really focused on his economy right now, just trying to drone up, get a very strong econ going, coming out with a few more extractors, and actually no, just the 2 here in the main. So these are 2 initial extractors. He's been running on just minerals this whole time, finally getting these other 2 over here, and we'll be coming out with this one over here. Looks like currently no, delayed on that just a little bit. Now back over here, for Hasu, he himself is also working on his economy, getting a very strong one up and running. He does have this forge coming on through. He will have a total of 4 gateways. Probably expect a robo to get placed down for him as well. Now here goes Hasu moving out with that Phoenix Scout as expected. You can see actually very low on the amount of remaining life left there. Not life, but the duration of that hallucinated Phoenix. But he's going to be getting as much scouting as he possibly can, moving all down and around and trying to make sure that he spots the tech. And he also, of course, wants to check the number of expansions. But unfortunately, with that one, due to that spine crawler and that queen fire, wasn't actually able to scout out this third. So still, Hasu is not aware of the third, but here we go. Moving out with this Phoenix should allow him to see it, and finally Hasu is going to be able to spot that third expansion with these hallucinated Phoenix. Wonderful job there. That's exactly the information that he needed. We can see right now Hasu is moving up into his third. He's also coming out with that robotics, and with that, of course, he will be working his way first into observer scouts, but then very likely with this robotics, we will be seeing him go right into some Colossus play, and that's certainly to be expected and certainly can be very effective. Phoenix Scout heading on back home right now after getting all of that vital information, and unfortunately not making it all the way back before he dissipates there. No more remaining life left. I don't know why I keep calling it life, just duration. It doesn't really, he's got life, but it's that was the duration bar, so I'm just being silly. We've got a few stacked defenses here, and the biggest thing in all honesty to take from this is that DIMAGA is so focused on teching up, not only getting that strong economy, but also working his way up into some strong upgrades. Metabolic boost just about finished, getting that roach speed, level 1 Carpus, level 1 melee attacks, get some roaches coming out, infestation pit, getting very close to finish, and also an in-base hatch. So again, not a whole lot of forces early on here for DIMAGA, just trying to get a very, very strong economy, get a lot of upgrades, everything like that. Zealot pinning himself in the corner, allowing the reinforcements to come down, and Hasu quite easily taking out all of those Zerglings. Very, very nice play. Hasu, it didn't end up losing a single unit either. You can see that Zealot just so durable, and with that force field wall allowing the Stalkers to quickly and easily take out the rest of the units, that was certainly a very nice play there from Hasu. Now Hasu will be continuing up this Phoenix hallucination scouting. He wants to check the tech, and he wants to check the unit composition and everything like that. Hasu just needs to know exactly what's going on. It also looks like DIMAGA may very well be trying to move up into an expansion at this position. Hallucinated Phoenix still moving around. He's going to be checking over here and here for expansions. He wants to see if DIMAGA had tried to sneak anything over in any of those positions. And there you go, Observer Scout. Man, Hasu is just all over this scouting. Really unbelievable. Just one after the other. I mean, he's got constant vision on what DIMAGA is doing, and it has been the case for this entire game here. A couple more gateways getting placed out. We've got Blink Research coming out, level 2 weapons upgrade, Thermal Lance, as well as those Colossus working their way on through. Now at the moment we do not have any Colossus in play, but that first one is about halfway finished. So once more, as has been the case for this entire series, macro is all we've been looking at. Not a whole lot of aggression, just macro focused games. Observer for Hasu, scouting out the position and the composition there for DIMAGA's units. He will actually be spotting that the fact that these infestors are now in play, although I do believe that he has scouted the infestation pit anyways, so I'm sure he knew that they were coming. Yeah, so he knew that they were coming, but now he knows how many there are, where they are, and everything like that, and that's exactly the kind of information that you want. And DIMAGA again working his way up into that 4th expo, because he needs to be at least one base above Hasu, or else he could be in heap loads of trouble. Hasu now preparing to move across the map, and it looks like he is actually, in response to scouting out DIMAGA's 4th, will be coming out with a 4th of his own. So now what we're seeing Hasu try to come into effect here is he's trying to continuously make DIMAGA expand as a result of his expansions. And that's the idea there, is he's trying to spread DIMAGA thin and get DIMAGA in a position where Hasu can then start to use the mobility of Blink Stalkers to pick off this expansion and that expansion, and then eventually work up into an economic advantage. Hive Tech, as well as a Spire coming out right now for DIMAGA, so preparing to work into those late game Broodlords. You know, it's hilarious enough. It's been almost the same thing every game so far between these two players. Relatively predictable play, but it's still solid play, you know? It's still good play. Macro-focused play is certainly a good thing, and if you as a player don't really have kind of macro builds under your belt, nice solid expand builds, and nice responses to your opponent's expansions, that's something that you should work on, most certainly. It's very, very, very important. We can see right now a little mini engagement, nothing too large. I don't really expect Hasu to walk into that Spinecrawler wall, and I don't expect DIMAGA to commit, but actually DIMAGA pulling down, and oh no, losing one Infestor and two Infestors as a result. Also will be losing that one Roach there. That was a little unnecessary. DIMAGA really didn't have to pull that far forward, and unfortunately dealt with that force field wall, allowing Hasu to get a few free kills there. Hasu just kind of sizing up the opposition, dancing back and forth, and you know, we're seeing this heavy Spinecrawler wall, and this is going to help DIMAGA a bit, but will it be enough? That's really the major question here. Hasu's actually just kind of going to be dancing right out front of DIMAGA's expansion over here in this position, and again, using the range of those Colossus. Very nice response there by DIMAGA, though, pulling back with those weakened up Spinecrawlers, trying to get a little bit closer to the bulk of his forces, and if he could catch those Colossus out of position, he would most certainly attack at that point. But Hasu is just going to keep on probing here. He is absolutely being relentless, non-stop, continuously just going to be sniping down those Spinecrawlers and taking advantage of that long range. And here we go. There is that Fungal Growth, and finally here's the commit from DIMAGA, pushing forward. Here are those force fields as expected. A couple of Roaches are a bit out of range. We've got a lot of Stalkers left, still doing a ton of damage. And ooh, that was a little bit dangerous there. I'm not sure that was not going to really pay off for DIMAGA. Ended up taking pretty hefty losses there without doing all that much damage. Again, because of force field, you can see certainly in these engagements how very strong the force field is in this matchup, especially if you can catch your Zerg opponent in kind of these choke positions where you can lay down a nice force field wall and prevent them from fully engaging your force. And it's a huge problem as a Zerg player having to consistently deal with that. And we're just seeing more and more Spinecrawlers come down here for Hasu. And here we go, DIMAGA finally deciding now is the time. There are the Fungal Growth from the Infestors. A couple Infestors do get sniped down. Seeing that force field wall again, and this is another problem for DIMAGA. This is not a good position for him, even with those Spinecrawlers. It's just not looking good at all. Hasu is tearing through his units right now. The Roach count is very, very low. DIMAGA will be losing this expansion. You can see the bulk of his forces have been forced back right now. At the same time, we've got Hasu working his way up into this expansion finally, and Hasu just sitting in a very strong position. Let's take a look at those upgrades. He's 0-3 right now. Got 3 weapons upgrades. DIMAGA 2-0. Actually, no ranged upgrade there for DIMAGA's Roaches, but Hasu managing to snipe out DIMAGA's expansion, pulling back a little bit, wants to get back to the safety of those Colossus. Unfortunately, though, those Roaches not standing much of a chance, and actually the Stalkers blinking down to force those Roaches back even further, allowing the Colossus plus that small group of Stalkers over here for Hasu to snipe out DIMAGA's expansion. Now, do keep in mind, DIMAGA has an Expo over here and over here, but really, DIMAGA very far behind. He can do 78 army supply as opposed to the 106 that we have for Hasu. Biggest thing, though, is look at the losses that DIMAGA has taken so far. I mean, he's taken hefty losses, and it looks like Hasu will be keeping up this aggression. Stalker heavy, coming out with a few Zealots in the mix, but Stalker heavy plus Colossus has been working so very well. Now, what do we have right now? Just Roaches and Corruptors is all DIMAGA is sitting on. He's got a few Speedlings as well. Those will get quickly taken care of, and DIMAGA realizing he cannot hold up against this, just calling the GG. Alright guys, thank you for watching. That was the 5th and final game here between Hasu and DIMAGA, a very macro-focused series between these two players. If you're looking to improve your macro game, these are certainly games I suggest taking a look at. As always guys, if you like the content, if you like the commentary, if you like what's going on this channel, please do subscribe. It helps out tremendously. Thanks for watching guys. Keep watching and keep owning.